being ignored by my husband and son for their dream man. I quietly left and started my life over in Seattle. You really think they'll notice if you disappear? That's what my therapist asked me just days before I actually did. The rain hadn't stopped for 3 days straight in Portland, but it wasn't the weather that soaked through my bones. It was the silence. The kind that sits between people who used to talk about everything. The kind that wraps around a dinner table like an unwanted guest. I was the Omega, the husband, the one who raised our son when Ethan was off climbing corporate ladders. The one who held my boy through his night terrors, packed his gluten-free lunches, and celebrated his wins even when no one else clapped. And still, I had become invisible. It started subtly: Ethan's lingering glances at Jasper, the new neighbor. Jasper was younger, alpha, tall, and every damn thing I wasn't. He wore joggers that hugged just right, spoke with a laugh that made my husband lean in, and offered to help with yard work that I used to do, quietly, every Sunday morning. Then it got worse. Our son, Micah, only 16, started copying Jasper's speech. He laughed harder at Jasper's jokes than he ever had at mine. He started sitting closer to him on the couch than to his own father. I became the blurry figure in the background of their shared selfies. I tried to ask Ethan once, just once, "Do you still love me?" He blinked like I'd spoken in another language. "Of course I do. You're the father of my child. Not my mate. Not the love of my life. Just a label, like a worn sticker on a forgotten jar." That night I packed my bag. One suitcase. One duffel. A goodbye note hidden in the drawer where we used to keep love letters. I didn't cry. I was long past tears. Seattle greeted me with rain too, but it felt different here. Less like sadness and more like a beginning. I rented a tiny apartment above a Vietnamese bakery in the Central District. The ceilings leaked and the heater groaned, but it was mine. My own little piece of sky. I worked at a used bookstore on Capitol Hill, where the scent of old pages dulled the ache in my chest. I shelved poetry, sold battered romances to teens with shy smiles, and made coffee strong enough to wake the dead. And then I met Caleb. He was a beta, tall, quiet, with kind eyes and hands that trembled when he laughed. He came in looking for a second-hand copy of Giovanni's Room, but left with "Call me by your name" and a promise to return the next day. He did, and the next, and the next. He never asked about my past. He never tried to fix me. He just sat on the floor of the poetry aisle every Sunday afternoon and read Neruda aloud like each word had weight. He once said, "Healing doesn't always look like a sunrise. Sometimes it's just silence that finally feels safe." I started sleeping again, eating again, laughing again. One night I told him everything. The years of slow erasure. The way I stopped recognizing myself in our family photos. The way I left without looking back. He didn't say a word, just reached across the coffee table, took my hand, and squeezed. For the first time in over a decade, I didn't feel like furniture in someone else's life. I felt seen. Then Ethan called. "Micah ran away," he said, voice ragged. "He left a note. He says he blames us for you leaving." It hit like a punch to the ribs. "I didn't want to leave him," I said, throat tight. "I just couldn't stay invisible anymore." "I know," Ethan whispered. "I was wrong. About a lot of things." I didn't respond. Not yet. 2 days later, Micah showed up at the bookstore. Soaked, tired, angry. "I found your note," he said, throwing a crumpled paper onto the counter. "Why didn't you tell me the truth?" I stared at him, taller now, eyes more like mine than I remembered. "Would you have listened?" His chin trembled. "I thought Jasper was cool. I didn't know he was replacing you." "You don't need to apologize, Micah." "But I do," he said. "Because you were always there, Dad. And I stopped seeing you." We went for pho. He stayed in my apartment that night. It was cramped, awkward, and perfect. Ethan called again. "He's safe," I told him. "I miss you," he said. "I think I've missed you for years and didn't realize it." "I'm not the same," I replied. "I don't care. I just want a chance to try again." That night, I stared at the ceiling while Caleb slept beside me. His arm draped loosely over my stomach. His breathing deep, steady. Love isn't always a thunderclap. Sometimes it's the warmth of shared coffee, or the softness of a poem read aloud on a rainy day. I met Ethan the next week. We sat at a bench overlooking Lake Union. He apologized genuinely. He didn't ask me to come back. Just thanked me for being the parent Micah still needed. "I didn't deserve you," he said quietly. "Maybe not," I admitted. "But I still hope you find someone who sees you." He nodded, and we let it go. Micah visits often now. Sometimes he brings Jasper, who turned out to be more lost than malicious. We're working on things. As a family, but with space between our stars. Caleb and I still work the bookstore. We've started a small LGBTQ reading circle. Every Thursday night, people gather, sip tea, and speak their truths. Love, I've learned, is not about being chosen once. It's about choosing each other every day, even when it's hard, even after the rain. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe to follow the next stories.